want to run into these types of issues with a rover of this magnitude the first time. So we learn so much each time we do this, and every time we do it, we learn more and we apply it to the next one. So that's the value of a continuing program where you can go every opportunity or every couple of opportunities and build on those experience bases. And that goes for the team as well. So there's a lot of heritage in the folks that are actually on the team, and they understand how to deal with these situations. Many of them have seen them before from Spirit and Opportunity. And so you build a knowledge base, a core competency, if you will, that becomes irreplaceable. And we've got it. We're the leaders in this capability in the world, and we want to maintain that. And it's crucial to continue doing these types of missions to be able to maintain those capabilities. It's not like riding a bike. You do lose it if you don't use it.
Do we have any more questions here at JPL? Yeah, let's get the mic over to right there. You got her.
Alicia Chang from AP. Question for Doug. With regard to the Mars exploration planning, how soon do you expect to release this new roadmap? And, what are the chances of another landed mission this decade? And, how will the success of, or lack of, from this current mission, Curiosity mission, affect the planning?
The team will be done with their report in August, and at the end of August they are planned to brief us at NASA on what their findings are and provide us those findings. We are putting a schedule together for when we go public with that report. It will be a public report. That report will probably be in a view graph form. The fancy color glossy version of that everybody likes to put on the shelf will be a couple months later. But we will go through and brief, obviously, the Executive Office of the President. We'll brief Congress. We'll brief the communities. We'll brief the media once we have that report in our hands at the end of August. Next opportunity for a landed mission. The budget in 2018 is thin. Per the President's 2013 budget, it probably can't support a rover or a lander. However, a rover is the next logical step after MSL. We have the orbiter in 2013, which is MAVEN, and nothing in 2016. However, that's balanced not just with budget, but balanced with infrastructure. All the information that you're hearing about us getting back from MSL, whether it's during EDL or on the surface, virtually all of it comes back through the orbiters. So we have learned, we have created a monster. We have developed a network of communication capabilities that give us insight, both engineering insight and scientific insight, like we've never had before at another planet. Big pipes of data. We would not really want to go to the surface with a surface mission and use the soda straw that is direct to Earth. So that has to be factored into what that first mission is as well. So once we get all the pieces of the puzzle and we work it out, then NASA will be the one that makes the decision of what that roadmap actually is that we'll go forward with. When we are public with that will depend on how long it takes us to come up with that, as well as the discussions internally within the agency and within the Executive Office of the President, since it will all fit into the 2014 budget process.
Okay, and we do have time for another quick question. Let's get the mic in the second row here. And can you please state your name and affiliation?
Steve Gorman with Reuters. So once the lander, the rover's on the ground and it's checked, goes through all its checkouts, which I understand will take a number of weeks, how long do you estimate, roughly, would it be before Curiosity is sort of ready to begin its scientific experiments in earnest? I realize that every time you move something, you're collecting some data, but in terms of, the thrust of its scientific mission, how long do you think it'd be before the rover is ready to start that in earnest?
Well, we will be doing science right away. I mean, we have medley science coming in, and we are doing descent imagery coming in, and we'll be getting to play those pictures back after a few days. In terms of the remote science, we'll be doing some of that, except for the ChemCam right away. The contact science will occur somewhere between 2 weeks and 3-4 weeks later, depending upon how the checkouts go. The sampling science, the actual taking of a sample and ingesting it into the Chemin or the SAM, probably between a month and 2 months after we land. Those are all very rough. This is a very complicated beast. It is much more complicated than Spirit or Opportunity in terms of the interactions amongst the various pieces and the things you have to keep track of in order to operate it successfully. We have a tremendous reliance on the orbiters. I mean, and as Doug mentioned, for data communication with us, and the orbiters don't arrive over our station at the same time every day. So things keep moving around in a very dynamic way. So it's going to be when we land, I think that we're going to go through a novel educational experience about, oh, that's what we did. Okay, did we really build it that way? Boy, that wasn't the right thing to do. Anyway, and we'll go through that. And so I think it's going to be a very slow process in kind of getting us ready to do nominal science. We've worked very heavily with the science people on what to do. We put an intermission in place to provide some opportunistic science about 10 days out. So we've tried very much to fill these blanks in. But I think we all need to exercise caution. The speech I make to the team is to recognize that on Sunday night at 10:32, okay, we will have a priceless asset that we have placed on the surface of another planet that could last a long time if we operate it correctly. And so we will be cautious as hell about what we do with it.
Okay. On that important note, we're going to wrap up the Q&A and the news conference, and we will be replaying the visuals from this news conference immediately afterwards. And just a reminder that there is a lot of useful information online at www.nasa.gov/Mars, and that includes a schedule of events coming up in the next couple of days and updates. So also the press kit, a lot of stuff there. And I want to thank our panelists, and thanks everybody for joining us today.